It's no coincidence guys running machinery often share a last name.
That's all I've ever wanted to do was farm.
Farming gets in your blood.
Yeah, it's me and my dad and my nephew farms with us, and then my 5 boys.
That's oldest, James.
He's been out here helping ever since he was big enough to walk.
Dad, do you want me to come out there and catch you?
He might be a few months shy of legal on Lucas County roads, but in a field?
All right, you can pick me up right up here.
The 15-year-old can pilot a tractor worth 6 figures with precision.
Right there, no farther forward.
Even after what happened 2 years ago at planning time,
I didn't know where to believe it.
when his mom got the diagnosis.
Well, she started crying when she told me.
James had severe type 1 diabetes.
You could lose a kid right there.
Just see if my math is right.
Especially counting carbs at every meal and round-the-clock blood sugar checks. Because one wild swing can put him in a coma.
So yeah, there was a lot of worry.
Making her stressed even when she did get a full night's sleep.
And that's a really upsetting morning when I realized I didn't hear any of those alarms. And is he okay in there?
Something had to change.
I'd never heard of it.
So the 7 Evans
It's not like a plug-in electronic device that's going to help you.
became 8.
Just another one to the family.
Lexi, her name is Lexi.
A diabetic alert dog
Heel. It's really amazing.
with a nose for trouble before James's body dishes it out.
Even humans can smell a diabetic when they're high. It smells sweet. They think that the low scent is probably acidic or something offensive to them.
When Lexi gets a whiff of his changing blood sugar levels,
There she alerted me.
she swipes at him and watches,
Good paw.
insisting he checks. A 9-month-old
Ooh, good high.
that's almost always right, and a pup that can also crack the whip.
If I'm in trouble and like she paws me and I just think she's playing, she'll eventually like lay on my homework and so I can't do nothing.
A partner so critical,
Lexi, Matt.
she's become James's shadow. In the field, Lexi will reach up from the floor
Good paw, okay?
and insist he test his blood minutes before a monitor would have predicted trouble.
I need to put in my carbs.
But in the field's nothing. Compared to on the field. Because like any grandma watching their number 84,
There goes James.
the warm-blooded lab might look ridiculous in a sweater and ear warmers, but she's supporting him
She pretty well knows which one he is.
from 40 yards away.
Trying to tell me something?
She can pick his scent out of the herd of sweaty high schoolers.
You know, I was pretty skeptical at first. I didn't know. You know, I never heard anything like this. And then, you know, the more I'm around her, the more I see that every day it works.
And anytime she's convinced he's in trouble, she gets more field access than any mascot.
3, 4.
Okay, Lexi.
Reminding the guy reading defenses
Good paw.
he'll be in the doghouse unless he listens to his girl.
It's good to have her there.
Right by his side, setting up her sophomore for success, whatever field he lands in.
I just feel like he has a really loyal companion that has her eye on her nose on him too.
Eric Hanson, KCCI 8 News,
Let's go cover you back up.
Iowa's news leader. A couple weeks before Christmas, Santa's elves have nothing
Okay, here we go.
on a grandpa in his Gowrie garage. A guy who hadn't even touched a scroll saw until he unwrapped one from his wife 20 years ago.
And I asked her, I said, what in the devil am I going to do with that?
Lyle, the reluctant woodworker, made his kids a couple keepsakes
Here's a kangaroo.
and then moved on to their kids, which is about the time things got crazy.
He's out here an awful lot.
Soon he was scavenging construction sites.
I'd go dumpster diving and getting wood out of there, you know, that they were throwing away.
Recycling them into one of 150 creations. Anything, as long as he didn't have to dress it with paint, a task he hated. But eventually, the great-grandpa, who's pretty careful,
I got a short thumb there.
realized
You know, your grandkids can only have so much stuff like that.
so he loaded up his Lincoln and dropped off a wagon load for some kids he'd never met.
The baby kangaroo and the mommy kangaroo sound pretty.
Kids like Maddie,
Yeah.
who can tell you she's 3, but still has a hard time pronouncing the word leukemia.
It's beautiful.
Since she was diagnosed last May, Maddie's become a regular at Blank Children's Hospital.
The last time I was here.
And every single time,
she'll ask, well, can I paint?
Dad, come over here.
Well,
this year, Lyle Barkley dropped off 2,500 handmade toys, making the 90-minute drive twice every month, year-round. Over 18 years, the man in red has worn out 2 scroll saws and rebuilt his new one 3 times. He thinks he's blessed.
I mean, how lucky I am that my kids don't have to be down here.
But ask a teary-eyed dad,
To get stuff like that from complete strangers is pretty amazing.
and he'll tell you there's not a more generous, dumpster-diving great-grandpa in the state.
And I feel maybe she's getting some good out of it.
Watch out for the pink paint.
Eric Hanson, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
A baby kangaroo and
County blacktops see plenty of big rigs.
This is once in a lifetime.
Most 18-wheelers
It's huge.
headed for the horizon.
Okay, ready?
But the load that passed the Van Wykes Tuesday
That's a house that's been in the area for many, many years.
froze farmers in their overalls.
Dates back to the late 1800s.
Throw in the still attached porch, and the imposing monster creeping down the blacktop west of Monroe weighed 100 tons.
It was built in 1865. It's the oldest wood frame historical house in Jasper County.
A towering 3-story. And that doesn't count the one all the neighbors swear by.
You mean the hauntedness of it?
It just has the ambiance of any scary movie.
The place known as Maple Grove Hill has a century-old reputation.
I felt a hand take me like that and turn me around. There wasn't anybody there.
A house with so many stories.
And the ladle rose up like someone was holding it.
We spent the night back in 1994. Most
This is the bad room.
involved a woman thought to be the original owner, Regina Long.
Her hands were up at the curtains, like trying to part the curtains.
My God, she doesn't have any feet. She's hanging in the air. It's real. People think it's a lot of poppycock and bunk. It's enough to make your skin crawl.
Back then, the mystery was unexplainable.
She loved this house. Maybe that's why. She just doesn't want to leave.
But 20 years later,
Mile and a half.
plenty wondered what would happen when Maple Grove Hill took a 5-mile road trip.
As the mover, you almost dread move day, for all things can go wrong.
Its old site had been sold to one family, the house to another, which is when Billy Bell
Move day's fun.
went to work.
All right, let's put her around this corner.
But as he negotiated turns and squeezed past power poles, everyone, it seemed, had one question.
Whether the ghost goes with the house when the house gets moved?
Or whether its unexplained past didn't feel like going anywhere.